boot camp. We actually don't have anyone joining us in the live session, so today's recording will be a little abbreviated. What I'll do is I'll still go through all the math problems. I'll show you how to solve it, but you're welcome to pause the video and try it on your own before we work through it together. So here we have a problem for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Okay. The first problem is asking us what decimal number is illustrated. All right, so we see we have this block here. It's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parts. All right, so if you remember, your decimal places will be in the tens place right here. That's the first place. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them shaded in. So it's actually 7/10 illustrated right there. Okay. All right, and for the next problem for the 5th graders, it says find the value. All right, so we have a decimal number out front. All right, that's 0.9 or 9/10. That first decimal place to the right of the decimal point is the tens place. And you'll notice something special about this problem. It's a little harder because it's for our older students. It says times 10 to the second. All right, so this 10 to the second, that's a special type of problem. It's a base 10 exponent. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a little extra space where I can write out some notes for us. All right, so if you're not familiar with exponents, I will give you a quick refresher. Okay. I said this was called a base 10 exponent. So it means the number at the bottom or the base is 10. And here our exponent happens to be 2. All right. Exponents are also known as repeated multiplication. So you're going to multiply something over and over and over. All right. Our base 10 is the number that will multiply, and our exponent up here in the corner tells us how many times to multiply it. So we're going to multiply 10 2 times. All right, so let me go back. 10 times 10. All right. Now, even if you're a younger student and you're not familiar with exponents yet, you can still solve this. 10 times 10 is 100. All right. Now I'm going to go back to the problem. Notice in the problem, it says 0.9 times 10 to the second. So I'm going to rewrite our problem, this time with the exponent expanded, right here. So 0.9 times 10 to the second, which we said was 100. Now, a quick tip or trick, whenever you're multiplying decimal numbers by 10 or 100, the number of zeros gives you a little hint on how you should move your decimal point. All right, if we're multiplying by 100, we move our decimal point to the right 2 spaces. So that's going to be 0.9. Move the decimal point to the right 2 spaces. That's 1 space, 2 space. That's 90. So our answer is 90. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and clear off all my drawings, and you're always welcome to pause this if you need to write something down or even rewind it and watch it a second time. All right, so I'm going to clear off my drawings. There we go. And I am going to go on to the next problem. All right, so we have problems for our 3rd graders, 4th graders, and 5th graders. Here, this first problem says, what is 2084 rounded to the nearest 10? All right, so these problems are testing our understanding of place values, just like the last problem. So before I answer this, I need to remember, I need to round to the nearest 10. So I need to look here and I see, where's my tens place? Well, that's the ones place. This is the tens place. This is the hundreds, and that's the thousands place. They want me to round to the nearest 10, okay? So I'm gonna rewrite this number just a little bit so it is bigger, easier to see. I'm rounding to the nearest tens place, all right. So I need to know if this 8 should be rounded to a 9. And the way I do that is I look to my neighbor on the right. And what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to type out some rules to help us remember how to round. Okay. If my neighbor is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I need to round up, okay? If my neighbor, and the number to the right is my neighbor, is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I need to round down, okay? So my neighbor over here is, what is my neighbor? My neighbor is a 4. And the rules say if my neighbor is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, round down. So instead of being 2, round down and just be 2080. All right, 2080, because 2084 is closer to 2080 than 2090. All right. I'm going to clear off my drawings. Okay. This next problem right here, 2041 divided by 56 is about, now this is a challenge problem for our 5th graders. I'm gonna create a blank space for me to take some notes. Let me do that in a different color. Oops, wrong color still. Okay, perfect. 2041 divided by 56 is about, so this is a 2-step problem. First, I need to estimate or round these numbers, and then I need to do my division. 241, if I round to the nearest hundredths place, is 200 divided by 56. If I round to the nearest tens place, it is 60. Okay, equals, so how many times can 60 go into 200? All right. And actually this is what I recommend. What I'll do, hold on a second. I think I'll round to the nearest, this number right here, 56. I can round that to the nearest tens place. Okay, so I'm going to round this number to the nearest tens place as well. 241 rounds to 240. And 56 rounds to 60. Okay, and I see you think we just had someone join. Let me see who that is. We have Emery. Hey, Emery. Let me turn on your mic if you want to speak. Okay, and Emery, this may be this is for 5th graders, but you're still welcome to watch along and follow along if you'd like. Okay. So for this problem, 240 divided by 60, 60 can go into 244 times. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and clear off my drawings and go to the next math problem. This is for rising 3rd graders, 4th graders, and 5th graders. And now that we have Emery on the chat, I'll go ahead and pause for a second. Emery, if you'd like to try it, see if you notice a pattern. Okay, so this says look at the steps and find a pattern. We have step 1, step 2, step 3. How many dots are in the fourth step? Okay, so in the first step, we have 1 row, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots in the row. Now let's look at the second step. We have 2 rows. And let's see how many dots we have in each row. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots in each row. And in the third step, we have 1, 2, 3 rows. And in each row, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dots in each row. Okay, so they want us to know how many dots are in the fourth step. Each step, we increase the number of rows. So in the fourth step, we'll have 4 rows. And we increase the number of dots in each row. 7, 8, 9. So we will have 10 dots in the fourth step for every row. Okay? And in total, that would be 10, 20, 30, 40 dots all together. I will go ahead and clear off my drawings. And I think we have one more. So this is a time for a 5-minute break. I'll go ahead and skip it and then go straight into the reading portion of today. Let me go ahead and click on this. So we will work on trying to find the main idea based on key details. Let me sign in right here. So I'm going to mute myself and give everyone who's on the call a moment to read the topic and try to solve the problem before we work on it together. Okay, so this problem says, look at these details from a paragraph about the same topic. There are 3 details. The first detail says, robots are used in many factories that produce cars. The second detail says, in hospitals, robots help doctors and nurses by carrying medicine and other supplies. And the last detail says, some people use robots in their homes to help keep their houses clean. So they gave us 3 details about how robots are used. And they say, choose the main idea that ties all the details together. So if you were trying to summarize all these 3 details, what sentence would best summarize all the 3 details? The first option says, robots are better workers than humans. In hospitals, doctors sometimes use robots. Robots have many jobs in today's world. So let's talk about each topic one by one. For the first one, it says robots are better workers than humans. Now, none of the details up here talked about robots being better workers than humans. They talked about how robots help people, help doctors, help people keep their houses clean. but never talked about robots being better, just helpful. So I'm going to cross that option out. For the second option, in hospitals, doctors sometimes use robots. Now, this is true. They talked about it in the second detail. In hospitals, robots help doctors. But this would not be a good option because it ignores the first and last detail in the paragraph. The final option, robots have many jobs in today's world, I think that would be a good option. The first details talks about robots working in factories. The second detail talks about robots working in hospitals. And the third detail talks about robots helping in people's houses. So I'm going to pick the third option, and let's see if we're correct. All right, here's another example. Let's look at these details from a paragraph about the same topic. The first detail, sometimes jellyfish eat small plants. Jellyfish sometimes dine on small fish. Crabs and shrimp are also on the menu for jellyfish. And again, we have to pick the main idea that ties all the details together. The jellyfish diet includes both plants and animals. Crabs are food for jellyfish. Sometimes jellyfish eat other jellyfish. All right. Emery, would you like to type in the chat or come off mute and share what you think? And it's okay if you're not sure. Okay, Emery, option two. Option two, thank you, Emery. So option two said crabs are food for jellyfish. So they did say that was the third detail. Crabs and shrimp are also on the menu for jellyfish. Perfect, perfect. Now, one thing about the second option, it doesn't talk about small plants or small fish, okay? Now, fish are a type of animal. So the jellyfish, they eat the plants and animals. So I think we may want to pick on the first option, plants and animals, because that would include the first detail, the second detail, and the third detail. The main idea has to include all of the three details that we read. Okay, so let's click on that one and see. All right, and we will do one more like this, and then we'll work on a different type. So this one says, we have three details. Table Mountain in South Africa is home to more than 20 types of snakes. 2 rare types of frogs live on Table Mountain. Table Mountain has lots of birds such as falcons and owls. Okay, so they were telling us about snakes, about frogs, about birds. All right, Emery, what do you think the main idea of this paragraph is? Do you think it's about animals, plants? What do you think the topic is about? And you can type in the chat or you can come off mute, whichever you prefer. One, okay, so let's see. Tortoises and lizards are found on Table Mountain. All right, so I'm gonna click that option. You said option 1. So I'm gonna click that and let's see. Oh no, they said we're wrong. Okay, let's look at the explanation that they gave us. Okay. So they want us to take a closer look. Okay. The sentence that we picked, the first one, gives a detail about the different types of animals that live on Table Mountain, but it didn't tie all the details together. It kind of ignored the information about the snakes and the birds. All right, that's a good guess though, Emery, great guess. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing for just a moment and we will work on a different type of reading for just a second. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. This time we have to use our context clues to answer the questions. So this one says, which word rhymes with shave? Okay, so we have 3 different pictures. So you have to know which word goes with the picture. Q, 3, or wave. Q, 3, or wave. Which picture rhymes with shave? Is it the first one, the second one, or the third one? Give everyone a second to guess. And I'll type out the words that go with the picture. So this is the letter Q. That doesn't rhyme with shave. We have the number 3. That doesn't rhyme with shave. And then we have a picture of a wave. I think that wave and shave rhyme. So I'm going to click the third one. All right. So we have one more like that. Which word rhymes with jog? We have a picture of a rope, picture of a bed, and then a picture of a frog. Emery, which word rhymes with jog? Rope, bed, or frog? Frog. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to click frog and let's see if we're right. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So here we have 3 more pictures and we need to see which word rhymes with bark. We have bathtub. I don't think that rhymes with bark. We have shark and we have rain. Okay. Emery, which word rhymes with bark? Bathtub, shark, or rain? All right, shark, perfect, perfect. So I will click on shark. Awesome. And then this one, which word rhymes with sail? So we have a type. We have some yarn. We have a ruler to measure a dog. And then we have someone who is smelling a flower. So we have yarn, measure, smell. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm going to click smell and reset smell. All right, wonderful. And we'll do one more like this. And then we'll do a different type of reading exercise. Now this time, I'm not going to label the pictures. I'm just going to let you type in the chat which word you think goes with the picture and rhymes with torn. Corn. Okay, I'm going to click the picture of the corn. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so we're going to do a different type of exercise really quickly. So this exercise is seeing if we remember how the silent E works with words, okay? We have to pick which word matches the picture. We have the word pine, pale, and pole. Which word matches this picture? Is it pine, pale, or pole? Pine, perfect. How about this one? We have high, hope, and here. Which one? Hive, hope, here. Emmer says hive. Let's submit that one. Ooh, we have cone, cube, and cape. Cone, cube, and cape. Okay. Emery says cape. And then we'll do one more like this: rose, ride, and rule. And notice how the E is silent and we're making the long vowel sound. Okay, and Emery says rose. I'll click on the rose and submit. All right, perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing really quickly. Go back. Okay, so now we have to fill in the missing letters. So we have a picture of a fin. They gave us an F. They skipped the vowel and they gave us the N. So Emery, you raised your hand. Okay. You can come off mute if you would like. For some reason, I can't hear you, Emery. And it's okay if you just want to type the letter in the chat. You can try one more time or you can type in the chat. Letter I, okay. And I'm sorry, your mic isn't working. So I click the letter I, I'm gonna submit it. Okay, ooh. So we have a cat that's really, really big. It's a fat cat. So what letter should we pick to complete the word fat? A, E, O, or U? Letter A, I'll click the A. Submit it. Okay. This word, listen to the word and fill in the missing letters. So we have a picture of a mop. What letter should we pick? A, E, O, or U? Emery says O. Okay. And for this one, it says we have a picture of a leg. Which letter should we pick? A, E, O, or U? Perfect, perfect. Okay. And this is a picture of a bun. Emery, you say the letter U. Perfect. And then this will be the last one. We have a picture of a cop. E, I, O, or U. Emery says the letter O. Perfect, perfect. Okay, gonna stop sharing for just a moment. I'm gonna pick something a little bit harder. Okay. Share my screen again. So here we're still working on the main ideas. We were doing that a little bit earlier today. But this time we have to read the passage and then pick the sentence that best summarizes the passage. So what I will do, I'll go ahead and I'll read it and you can listen along, and then we'll try and pick which sentence best summarizes the main idea. So the title says, "What would life be like without gravity?" Gravity is the force that makes things fall to Earth. You can't see or touch it, but without gravity, life on Earth would be quite different. Everything would simply float away. If you jumped up, you would fly off into space. If you threw a baseball, it would never come down. Gravity is also the force that keeps Earth orbiting around the sun. So without gravity, Earth might float away too. So what is the main idea of the passage? First one, without gravity, Earth wouldn't orbit the sun? Or the second one, life on Earth would be different without gravity? Okay. So you can type in the chat if you think it's the first option or the second option. Emery, you pick the second option. Okay, I'm going to click on that and click submit. Perfect, fantastic. Okay, so let's try a couple more like this. So this one, let me get my spotlight. So where do bats sleep? And we have a little picture of a bat hanging from a tree branch. So it says, bats are known for flying around at night and sleeping during the day. You may have seen pictures of bats sleeping upside down in caves. Bats have other daytime resting places too. They sleep in trees, in old buildings, and even under bridges. More than 1 million bats sleep under one bridge in Austin, Texas. This colony or group contains about as many bats as there are people in the city. Wow, that would be scary. So it says, what is the main idea of the passage? Oops, Emery, I see you say one. Okay. Bats sleep in many different kinds of places during the day. Okay, I'm going to click on that one. Perfect, excellent. Okay. So this one says the power of exercise. Why should you exercise? When you exercise, you lower your chances of getting sick. For example, exercise makes your heart healthier and your body stronger. It improves your mood and can make you feel calm. Regular exercise helps you think more clearly so you can get more done during the day. Exercise can even help you sleep better at night. Regular exercise can make your life better in so many ways. So what is the main idea of the passage? People who exercise regularly are happier. Exercise helps people feel better in many ways. Which one? Okay, the second one. Right. Perfect, perfect. We'll do one more like this, and then we'll do a different exercise. Baby kangaroos. A female kangaroo has a special fold of skin that forms a pouch. The pouch is like a large pocket on its stomach. When a baby kangaroo or joey is born, it climbs into its mother's pouch. At birth, a joey is only about 1 inch long. It needs to stay in the pouch so it can grow more. After several months, the joey has grown enough to leave the pouch for short periods of time. By the time the joey is 10 months old, it is ready to leave the pouch for good. So what is the main idea? female kangaroos have pouches on their bellies for carrying their young. Or a baby kangaroo stays in its mother's pouch until it's strong enough to live on its own. Which do you think, the first one or the second one? The second one, okay. Good, good. I'm going to click submit. All right, and I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. And we will do a slightly different topic. Okay, so this one is working with similes, okay? So a simile compares two different things, and it uses the word like to show how one object or person can be like something else. So for these next few questions, we have to identify the meaning of the simile. Okay, so it's a special phrase, and we have to figure out what the person means. So for this phrase, it says, after the bell rang, the students were like cars at a green light. What on earth does that mean? Does it mean the students were leaving quickly or the students were being safe? Okay, take a moment and think about it. And if you'd like, you're welcome to type in the chat which option. And if you're not sure, you can also type not sure. 1. Okay, 1. So I'm going to click 1. Perfect. Awesome. For this one, trying to find my missing sock was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Does that mean the sock was in a stalk of hay, or the sock was nearly impossible to find? Option 1 or option 2? Okay, and Emery says option 2. I'll click option 2, submit it. Okay. For this one, the girl throws the ball like a football player. So does it say the girl throws the ball to the football player? Is that what they mean? Or the girl throws far and straight? How do football players usually throw? Okay, the second one. Good, good, good. Okay, so this one says, Devin eats his lunch just like a cow chewing grass. Does it mean Devin eats rudely and he has his mouth open like a cow? Or Devin actually eats grass for lunch? Which one? The first one. Okay, I'll click the first one. Okay. This one says traffic moved like honey dripping off the spoon. Does that mean the traffic moved slowly or the traffic moved over a shiny surface? Spoons are shiny, but is that what they mean? Option 1 or option 2? Honey dripping. Does it mean they're moving slowly or over a shiny surface? Take about 10 more seconds before I click an option. Okay, Emery doesn't know. That's okay. Okay. So honey is kind of like a syrup. It moves really, really slowly, and it's really, really sticky, so it doesn't fall off the spoon quickly. So for this one, it means the traffic moves slowly, just like honey moves slowly. It's really hard to make it move quickly. Okay. This will be our last one. Ashley's green eyes are like jewels. Does it mean Ashley's eyes are expensive or her eyes are sparkling? jewels are expensive and they're sparkling, but what does the speaker mean by this? Ashley's green eyes are like jewels. Does it mean her eyes are expensive or they're sparkling? Emery, it looks like you came off mute, but I can't hear you for some reason. I think you'll just have to speak in the chat, type in the chat today. Okay, I'll give it one more moment for anyone who wants to guess. Emery says 2. Ashley's eyes are sparkling. Okay, and I'll go ahead and click submit. All right, and then I'm gonna stop sharing for one quick moment and we'll do one more topic and then we'll be all done for today. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. So for this type of exercise, we have to determine the theme of a myth, a fable, or a folktale. So we have to figure out the meaning of a special type of story. These are usually made up stories and they want to teach readers a lesson. I'll read the fable and you can follow along. So read the following fable by Aesop, The Monkey and the Dolphin. A group of sailors set sail on a long voyage. They brought along a monkey to keep them company. After several weeks at sea, there was a terrible storm. The choppy waves tossed around the small ship, and both the sailors and the monkey were thrown into the sea. A dolphin saw the monkey in the water and rescued him. The dolphin swam to a nearby island, carrying the monkey on her back. When they arrived at the island, the dolphin asked, "Have you been here before?" The monkey said, "Yes, I have. Actually, I am the king of this island." Of course, that was not true. In fact, no one lived on the island at all. The dolphin replied, "Good, then you no longer need me," and she swam off, leaving the monkey stuck on the island. What is the main theme or lesson of the fable? The first option says, boasting and lying can get you into trouble. And boasting just means you're bragging about something. You're telling everyone your business. The second option says, never trust someone you don't know well. So we see the monkey said that they're king of the island, which wasn't true, and then they got stuck on the island by themselves. So what is the main theme? Option 1, boasting and lying can get you into trouble. Or option 2, never trust someone you don't know well. You can type in the chat what you think. Emery says option 1, boasting and lying can get you into trouble. I agree. All right, got the monkey into a lot of trouble. It's all by itself on the island. Okay, I think we have time for a couple more. So this one, it's another story. It's a fable by Aesop. It's the same author, but this one is called The Tortoise and the Hare. And you may have heard of this fable before. There was once a hare, and a hare is another name for a rabbit, who boasted or bragged about how quickly he could run. He was always teasing the tortoise or turtle because the tortoise moved so much slower. You say you are very quick, said the tortoise. How about a race to prove it? The rabbit agreed, and the two set out at the same time. The hare was soon far ahead of the tortoise. Surely I have enough time to rest by this rock, the hare thought. That slow turtle will never catch up. So he rested and soon fell asleep. The tortoise continued moving, slowly making his way to the finish line. The hare woke up with a start and began to run toward the finish line, but it was too late. He found the tortoise waiting there for him. The slow tortoise had beaten the speedy hare. So what is the lesson or theme of the fable? Hard work is more important than talent. If you believe you can do something, it is more likely to happen. So what was this story mostly about? Hard work versus talent, or believing you can do something? Emery says hard work is more important than talent. Okay, go ahead and submit. Perfect. Okay, and I think this will be our last one for today, and then you'll be free to go. So this is called The Lion and the Mouse. One day a lion was asleep in the jungle when a mouse ran over his leg. The lion woke up and trapped the mouse beneath his paw. He opened his large mouth and picked up the mouse. Oh, please don't eat me, the mouse begged. If you let me go, I will find a way to make it up to you someday. The lion found this funny. How could a tiny mouse help the king of the jungle? But the lion agreed and let the mouse go. A few months later, the lion was out roaming when he became caught in a hunter's net. Luckily, the same little mouse happened to walk by at that moment. She saw right away how she could help. She chewed through the net, freeing the lion from the trap. See, said the mouse, I was right. The lion was never happier to be wrong. What is the main theme or lesson of the fable? Never make a promise if you're not sure you can keep it, or you don't have to be big and powerful to do important things. Okay, Emery's not sure. All right, so let's talk about this one. Okay, so the first one says, never make a promise if you're not sure you can keep it. Now let's see, I think the mouse made a promise. Let's see. Right here, the mouse begged, if you let me go, I will find a way to make it up to you someday. Now the mouse made a promise and they kept it. So I don't think option 1 is the main lesson. Option 2 says you don't have to be big and powerful to do important things. So Emery says option 2, yeah, because the lion doubted the mouse. The lion thought, how could a tiny mouse help the king of the jungle? The mouse ended up saving the day, okay? So the lion was never happier to be wrong. The mouse did a really, really important thing by chewing through the net, even though it was really, really tiny. Okay, so I'll click option 2, and let's see if we're right. All right. So we are all done for today. We skipped our 5-minute break. So I'll go ahead and stop it right here. And Emery, you were the only person on the call today, so I do appreciate you coming and working with me today. And I hope you have a good week at school, or if you have spring break, I hope you enjoy your spring break. Okay, so you are welcome to just close your laptop or exit out of the chat, and I hope to see you next week. All right, go ahead and stop sharing.